Ryan Bader fighting in Ryzen on New Year's Eve, taking on Alexander Soldatkin. Soldatkin is 18-4. That's his record. He fought in the Contender Series a couple years back, but he got DQ'd after throwing an illegal knee. Bader's last fight was last year, took on that gigantic Kenan Ferreira, got knocked out in 21 seconds. Vader played Mark Coleman in the movie Smashing Machine earlier this year. He enjoyed the Japanese scenes doing Pride FC. Now he wants to live that out in reality, fighting in Japan and Ryzen.
I'm going to beat out of him next time. You keep talking, Bader. Keep talking, Bader. Keep talking. Keep talking. I asked him to fight you because I just want an easy paycheck. I knew that I wanted to fight you. I asked to fight you multiple times, Bader. They said, what do you want? I said, I want the easiest fight in the division. I want Ryan Bader. I want the easiest fight in the division. I want Ryan Bader. Just give me my paychecks right now, Bader. Get your ass out of here. This is my press conference.
Edgar Shirez, who says he was offered around $50K to throw fight in the past, is also part of Iridian Sports Management, as was Bulgarian, James Krause, Jeff Molina, Derek Minner, Vince Morales, Vanessa Demopoulos. So that agency and its head, Jason House, is probably going to be thoroughly investigated more as more info continues to be associated with them. Reached out to a fighter and his team to give them a chance to go on the record, but I've been made aware of additional credible fixing allegations by a UFC flyweight involved in 6 consecutive fights against Iridium fighters. There's unusual line movement and output in all of these fights. There's additional allegations of a crypto scam involving the same fighter taking money from coaches and teammates. As I said, I reached out to give the fighter a chance to explain themselves before posting all of the details. He says the fighter is not Tim Elliott. Zhalgish Zhamagulov lost 6 of 7 UFC fights, some against Iridium fighters, but his last 3 fights were split decision losses. Some feel he was robbed in some of those fights, and it didn't look like he was doing anything suspect in these fights. He was going toe-to-toe with a lot of these guys. It had nothing to do with him, but after Zhamagulov's fight with Jeff Molina, which he lost by split decision, James Krause gave someone a little wink, which might be nothing, but everything Krause did is now scrutinized potentially as being a suspicious gesture. UFC Hall of Famer BJ Penn arrested for the 6th time this year in Hilo, Hawaii. According to police, around 1 a.m. November 4th, Penn allegedly punched and kicked a 45-year-old man multiple times before the victim left and called authorities. Officers later located Penn and arrested him without incident. The 46-year-old Penn was charged with third-degree assault, posted $1K bail. Next court appearance, December 2nd. This latest arrest adds to a string of legal troubles for the UFC Hall of Famer, who has faced multiple charges in 2025, including assault and restraining order violations. Some think that BJ Penn has Capgras syndrome, a delusional disorder where a person believes someone close to them, often a family member or friend, has been replaced by an imposter. It can be associated with brain injury, dementia, schizophrenia, and other psychiatric disorders, and it could cause confusion, paranoia, and aggressive behavior. In Penn's situation, his mother, Lorraine, reported mentioning that the possibility of this in legal filings earlier this year as part of a restraining order, suggesting his behavior and mental state had become erratic. However, no formal diagnosis or medical confirmation has been made in public. This guy trying to get Islam Makhachev to throw his fight. Brother, I give you $70K to take a dive against JDM. NBA is rigged too. Don't even get me started on the NFL. Francis Ngannou wasn't going to take a dive for Disney boy who turned down fighting Jake Paul. Get CoffeeZilla in right now. That'd be a good video. Some sort of documentary will be made about this eventually, which will be highly interesting. If Dana paid fighters properly, maybe this wouldn't happen so often. Some would argue that multimillionaires do this too, but wouldn't happen so often. Maybe it wouldn't happen so often because it is easier to get someone making $10K to do this as opposed to someone making multi-millions. Why'd you tell the police about a potential bank robbery? Dana White was saying fighters who were approached about fixing fights shouldn't come out now. They should have went to the police when they were initially approached. He makes the argument if someone comes to you and asks you to rob a bank with them, you should go to the police. I'm sure a lot of people don't want to go to the police in that situation. I'm sure Dana White, through his long career in life, has seen and heard all kinds of shady things going on and about to go on, but he's not snitching on all of them. Dana just probably wants fighters to not go out in public and talk about this. I don't think he's thrilled about the notion that this is a widespread issue. I think he just wants to crack down on Bulgarian and leave it at that, like we solved the problem, kind of like how he was talking before about he wanted to catch that one guy streaming fights.
But what is that? Just as I was to throw it to Bruce for the official decision, I'm not sure I've seen this.
Oh my goodness. What is going on? Oh my goodness, they're flipping it. Oh my goodness, they're flipping the scorecard.
And somebody is screen grab that and blow it up for everyone to see.
I have never in my life seen this.
This is absolutely wild.
I've never in my life.
Let him hear it, folks. Let him hear it. Let's go. Let's go.
I have never in my life. I've never in my life seen this. Oh my goodness.
Donald Trump's son, Eric, wants John Jones and Conor McGregor on that White House card. He also thinks that America needs a good showing on that White House card.
John Jones has to fight. He
Think he'll be on it?
I would love to see him. You know what? It's funny. He put up a tweet the other day, just like, I don't know, a month ago, where he had like one spot left on his wall. He had all the title, so, you know, because he's right. And then he had one spot left, and he took a picture of it. So I feel like he has one left in him. And man, if there's ever one that you're going to do, it's the White House. I mean, I think you're going to see. I think you're going to see McGregor at that one. I've gotten to know McGregor pretty well, and he's a great guy. I mean, there's so much talent in there right now. Like a great American card, because listen, I like a lot of these guys, and these guys all like us. I mean, but man, we have to have a good American showing on America's birthday at the White House. We need a good American show.
Leon Edwards looking to beat Carlos Prates next week, then fight Ian Gary and get back into title contention. Prates training extensively with Kyle Bahayo and the Fighting Nerds. Vice TV announces that they have a new partnership with the PFL. It's going to be the exclusive U.S. telecast home for 10 international events, beginning with 2 next month, and they're going to continue with 8 more in 2026 to make that 10. Amanda Serrano versus Erica Cruz, Saturday, January 3rd in San Juan, Puerto Rico. That's MVP Promotions, which we'll also probably do next month. Jake Paul versus Nate Diaz rematch. It went from Gervonta Davis to possibly Ngannou to Nate Diaz rematch. If he could change one rule in MMA, Khabib Nurmagomedov would like to have no rounds, no time limits, kind of like an old school UFC throwback. I always wondered, what's the point of rounds? I get rid of rounds. No rounds at all. They just step in. That's it. In some cases, this could be very interesting. In other cases, it could be very boring. Best and strong survives. I love this idea. Nah, I like rounds better, especially when you got a great coach and team. It's chess, not checkers. Bilal would still find a way to win via decision. Guys on bottom would break faster if there weren't built-in restarts. Yeah, we want Jalton Almeida lay and pray for 25 minutes straight. Doesn't surprise me coming from someone whose strength is grappling. Rounds favor strikers and then gets them out of a pickle at times. Democratic Socialist Zoran Mandani becomes the new mayor of New York City. A couple reactions from MMA fighters on different ends of the spectrum. Cody Gibson thinks that's hope, whereas New York born and bred Jared Gordon says, I was born and raised in New York City. De Blasio ruined New York. Zoran learned from him. He's going to run it into the ground. Hope? Gibson's contention is, I think anyone who's willing to stand up for the working people and who isn't bought and paid for by my super PACs and corporate lobbyists gives me hope. The UFC visits New York City next week for UFC 322. The UFC and Dana White have a great relationship with President Trump. Trump does not like Zoran Mandani. Mandani fires back that the city will rally against him. Saidyokub Kakramanov recently had a canceled fight in ACA. The former UFC fighter says 3 years ago, he warned people that they got to look into their managers. They're the biggest bettors on their clients. Current fighter Ramiz Brahimaz says, I don't think you're lying. Managers would know all the intimate details about their athletes. What's going on with them health-wise? Do they have any injuries? Is there anything going on that could mess up their performance? Is the fix in? And with all that information, insider info, they can definitely have a strong indication if they're going to lose or not. If they know they're going to lose, for them, it's essentially free money for them to bet against them. Darren Till doesn't like that. Nate Diaz is calling out Jake Paul to fight at 200 pounds while asking me to die to make 180 pounds. The game is full of absolute mongoloids. Darren Till's coming off a victory in Misfits Boxing, knocking out Luke Rockhold. So that's 3 victories in a row for Darren Till in Misfits Boxing. He's 3-0 in the organization. Beat Rockhold, beat Darren Stewart, and knocked out Anthony Taylor. Like, comment, subscribe, and share. If you want to donate, you can via Super Thanks. Until next time, thanks for watching.